What is up, everyone? Hello and welcome to the show. It is another Thursday, and I am here. And I do have a guest tonight who, come to find out, I've already spoken to. It's got to be a couple of years ago, at least, when I was doing the Brian and Sherry show. So it's been quite a while since I have spoken to Debra Yates, who is our guest tonight. And she is the author of Woman of Many Names, which is very interesting. It's about a real person, a relative of hers. So it's good to reconnect with her and talk with her because, since then I got my own show and I have a lot more viewers. So it's going to be really interesting. So welcome if you are watching on Facebook and if you are watching on YouTube as well. Welcome. So I see people are watching. If you can like and share this video, that would be fantastic. Hello to my grandmother. She is number one. She is the first one on. So I'm just waiting for a couple more people to show up. So yeah. Hello. Welcome. I know that my aunt is going to be late because she just left my grandmother's house. I did get that message. So she'll be a little late anyways. So yeah. So we're just waiting for a couple of people to start popping on. And we will start the show. We got a couple of minutes before the guest comes on. And I can't wait to talk to her. And of course, everyone will be happy to know that cooking is coming. I did make the post. Our first guest that has to do with cooking will be on next Friday. So starting next Friday, we have and throughout the month of September, we'll have a couple of people talking about cooking and cookbooks and all that good food stuff. So I can't wait. So yeah. It's going to be really interesting, to say the least. So, and of course, that was one of the suggestions that the viewers had. Was one of the topics was cooking. Somebody wanted to do or listen to cooking. So, Chris Evans, hello, welcome. So, yeah. And a reminder, don't forget to like and share this video. The more people that know about it, the better. So, yeah. So, like I said, Debra Yates is the author of Woman of Many Names. And she'll be coming on fairly soon, I hope. And we'll be talking to her. Like I said earlier, I have spoken to her before. She may not know it. Maybe she does remember. But I do remember her. I do remember the book. This is when I was on the Brian and Sherry show, so it's been a couple of years at least since I last talked to her. So it's going to be interesting because before it was all on the phone when we did the Brian and Sherry show. There was no video. So now I'm going to be able to see her, which is pretty cool. So Daniel Payton, hello, welcome. Ariel, welcome. My sister Ariel, hello. So I'm just going over who's going to be on today in case you've missed it. I know there's a lag or, a delay in the video. So, and hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. I did get a new computer, so everything seems to be working fairly well so far. So, So yeah, so 8:15, she's supposed to be on. Debra Yates, the author of Woman of Many Names, which is about a relative of hers. So it's a book about a true person, a real person. So it's very interesting, and I can't wait to talk to her again. So yeah. So how is everyone doing? We have a couple of people watching, a couple of people chit-chatting with me. Hello, welcome. What has everyone been up to since the last time I spoke with you, which was Thursday? I haven't been doing anything but working. So that's pretty much it. What has everyone been up to? Let me know. And I think I got the lighting down in this whole place here. It doesn't seem so bright and distracting. My sister is watching from I-95. Why are you on I-95? You shouldn't be traveling anywheres. Do people not realize that there's still COVID around and you're not supposed to be traveling to all these different states? Well, then again, you're south anyway, so what's it matter? So, still waiting for 2 other people. I did send them a message. So, let's see. Ariel has been doing some school shopping. My sister just went to visit her kids. Oh, nice. That's right. The weekend is coming. Daniel has been working on the Winter Wizard 2nd edition. Now, I don't know about you, but I did hear about this, that Daniel is doing something. He's changing something with the Winter Wizard. So, and at some point, I'm going to have to chit-chat with him and see exactly what he's planning on doing. So, I'm not worried about it. I know that the book obviously is in good hands because he's the author. So, and what he says goes. Interesting. All right, never mind. Yeah. Let's see. School shopping for Ariel. Yeah, kids are going to be going back to school, hopefully, if not learning at home. Let's see. Karen. Welcome, Karen Smith. Working, switched to a different manuscript. That's always fun. Start something new. Chris, at least you are tempting Dan with the tree topper. Well, the tree topper has made its way over here. It is out of view. However, I've decided to add my Star Wars collection back here. So, yeah, I don't know if you can see them back there, but I have a couple of them. Chris, this is this is not a pimp hat. This is a safari hat, as a matter of fact. The hat was bought for my father-in-law, and unfortunately he passed away. So we kind of just keep it up on the printer there. So, but yeah, I thought it was cool. He liked the hat. He did wear it, but not for long. So there we go. Ugh. Oh, I hate this chair. I have to buy a new chair. It's very squeaky and very annoying. So, all right. Well, at least people have been busy and doing some good things. I, on the other hand, have not been doing really much of anything except working. I work 40 hours now. When I first started the show, I wasn't really, I was working. So, people listening. So we still have a couple of minutes before she comes on. Did anyone have any other suggestions for shows, ideas? I did the cooking. Like I said, cooking will be starting next Friday. We're going to have lots of people throughout the month of September talking about food. I love food. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. So I think there's a chef, a farmer's wife, an Instagram foodie person, a bunch of cookbook authors, which is always pretty neat. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what their recipes are. So yeah, but if anyone has any other ideas for shows, just let me know. I do put them out there. So yeah. So Dan, yeah, you're not off the hook. I still want to have that conversation of what you're doing to the Winter Wizard. I'm very intrigued and interested to know what's happening. So, but I'm pretty sure we'll get the lowdown at some point. I'm just waiting on Earth's Last Starship 2. I know it'll be named different, but that's what I'm calling it for now. So, yeah. Anybody else? Anyone else doing anything else? Anyone looking forward to anything? The weekend is coming. Tomorrow's Friday. Then the weekends. I'll be working, so you can think of me while you're out and about. Anyone looking forward to anything? Anything coming up for anybody? And Karen, I don't know if you're still watching. I'm pretty sure you are. If you're coming out with another book or something, I need to have you back on. So, there is Karen. Speaking of Karen, might be interesting to interview a winemaker or a distiller. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. I used to work for a winemaker, believe it or not, at a orchard, but I worked at a different building. He owned an inn that I worked at, but he also owned an orchard, and they made apple wine. Delicious. So yeah, I never understood the ins and outs and the whole process of it. So that would be pretty cool. So Dan is live tomorrow. Absolutely. And Dan, I'll be able to catch your show. I may not be able to stay on for the whole period, only because on the weekends I get up at 4:00 in the morning to go to work for 5:30. So I need my sleep. So I usually go to bed at 9. So I'll maybe catch 30 minutes of your show at least. But starting the following week, starting next week, the 28th, will be our Thursday and Friday shows. So there's going to be 2 shows a week now. I'm sorry, Dan. You're going to have to maybe cut me out a little early to start yours. But I promise to make sure I'm done before 9 or at least on 9 o'clock. So no worry there. So. Karen says, I abandoned the Hogtied sequel. Oh, that's right. I remember you talking about that for a while. Another story wants out. Oh, interesting. Okay. Jim, all the way from Oxford, England. Hello, welcome. Welcome. I'm going to have to write that down. I will remember that. So, yeah. So anyways, again, now that all these people are joining, tonight we do have a guest. I don't see her just as of yet, but I have 1 minute before she's due to come on. I'm hoping. Debra Yates, author of Women of Many Names. I've spoken to her in the past, maybe a couple of years ago when I was on a different show. So it's going to be interesting, hopefully. So I know that the publisher sent out a lot of tweets and Facebook posts. So I have been plastered all over their sites, letting everyone know that she was supposed to be on tonight. So I'll give her a couple of minutes. We'll see what happens. And we'll go from there. So, Jim, the only thing that I was asking was, what was everyone up to? What are you doing? Are you looking forward to something? Is something coming up this weekend? What are you doing? What are you doing, Jim? So, yeah. And Ariel, I think I just have to ask Ariel, if you're still watching, who exactly is watching with you? Is it just you, or is it your family? My two nephews. So, Daniel, I was thinking the exact same thing. Don't you worry. I'm a little worried, concerned that she's not popped on just yet. So I'm just going to give her a little bit, see what happens. If she does not, then we can talk about this Winter Wizard thing, you and me, because I want to know what's happening. So, Jim, just hospital checkups, all good. Well, that's always good to hear. Everything is good. Yeah. So before she comes on, before I do anything else, I just want to remind everyone that obviously we're live right now on Facebook, on the Facebook, the Brian Shepherd Show Facebook page. We're also live on YouTube as well. I know there's YouTube people out there. I love YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. We learn things on YouTube. We laugh, we cry, all that good stuff. Sometimes I hate YouTube. But we're also live on YouTube, so you can always catch the show whenever you want. That goes for Facebook as well. The video never really goes anywhere. The other good thing is recently, and I wish I had done this sooner, and I didn't realize that I could, but I have been taking these shows here, turning them into just audio and uploading them to Spreaker, which is podcast. So if you have Spreaker, iHeartRadio, I'm on Spotify, and a couple of other places. Soon I'm going to be adding myself to, I'm just waiting, I guess it's a waiting period with Apple, to be put back onto iTunes. So that way you can never miss a show. It's updated every week. So there's another way that you can enjoy the show as well, on the go. Look at that, right? So let's see. Ariel, Jerry, hello, Jerry. And the boys went to bed. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's about time for people to go to bed. So again, I'm going to give her a couple of minutes. I've sent her the emails. She knows what time she's supposed to be on. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Are people excited that there's going to be 2 shows a week? Is that too much? I know that I did the Tuesday, Thursday a while back before I started working. That seemed to be working. Now it's going to be Thursday, for like back to back. So I just don't want to be too much. So yeah. Jim, check you out getting all mobile and stuff. Jim, I've been mobile for a very long time, but I haven't really done anything with this show. I've done lots of things for the past show. I even had my own app, believe it or not, with my face on it. So my mom is watching as well from her house. Oh, all right. Lynn, hello, welcome. So yeah, I am getting mobile because I really want people to like get into this show and watch it, be part of it. Bruce, welcome, Bruce. Debra Yates says she's trying to connect. Okay, I haven't seen anything just yet. I will wait. No worries. All right, Chris, have gone back and watched a few I've missed before I heard about your cast. Oh, okay. See, Chris, it's great because you can always go back and watch them. They never disappear. I never delete them off Facebook. They're always there for everyone. Even ones I really didn't care for are there. So, yeah, it's great that I can go back and watch them. So, yeah. I don't watch them, just to let people know I don't watch myself. It's one thing to see myself on the camera here, which is fine because it's live, but I don't like listening to myself. I really don't. I hate my voice. I really do. It's horrible. It's horrible. All right. But anyways. Just as long as people don't think that Thursday, Friday, like back-to-back shows are too much. Because I have gotten a lot of requests for the whole cooking topic that many of you suggested, which is a great topic. I think that because we're reaching fall and it's kind of getting hoodie weather almost, I can't wait. I'm excited. We are gonna probably go for fall things, whatever that means. So Bruce, I feel bad because I'm not exactly sure what to do on my end. I can always call her on the phone if she wants to do that. That way I can at least get her on here. I can reschedule her for tomorrow if she would like to come on tomorrow and we can do it differently. Waiting for me to add her to what? I'm not exactly sure. I don't have to add anyone. I just don't see her at all. What happens is when she clicks the link for StreamYard that I emailed her, she'll click it. It'll bring her however she's using it. She puts her name in, does the video thing or whatever, and then she pops up on the bottom of my screen here. And then I just click her and I add her to the video, but she's not there. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do, Bruce. Like I said, I can call her on the phone or maybe do this tomorrow for her. It's up to her, whatever she wants to do. Chris, I'm right there with you. I will make sure that the shows end at 9 o'clock. So don't worry. Let me see here. Let me go back. I'm here. Okay. Yeah. I got your email. So, oh, Debra, what's happening? So she's using her iPhone, which technically she could still use the video on her iPhone. There she is. There she is. She figured it out. That's what she did. You didn't? Oh, wait. Let me add her, everyone. Hold on.
I'm
Hi.
using my phone.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. Oh, look. There you are.
It says will not that you had to enter me in. I don't know what's up. This is what we're going to use then. Yeah. Can we use this?
Absolutely. You're live right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. You're here. Welcome.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I was trying to explain to Bruce how it works, just in case he was communicating with you. I just got your email. So what happens is when you click the link, that usually is what pops up. It'll see you on the computer, whatever your computer's doing there. You put your name in like you did, and then you would pop up on the bottom like you just did, and I would just add you. So I don't know what the heck that's doing.
I don't know, but I'm really glad I got this really smart phone, you know?
Yes.
Because I guarantee you this phone is a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah. I think they are. Sometimes they are. Absolutely. Well, welcome, because I was getting a little concerned. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm glad you're here.
Hi.
So I don't know if you realize this or not, but I have spoken to you before.
There was a lady with you.
Yes, there was. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That was a little while ago.
Probably 3 years ago.
I believe so, because as soon as the email was sent over to me, I recognized the cover right away. And I was like, I have spoken to her before. And that was a good interview. And I wish I still had it, but I don't. But yeah. So I'm like, this is going to be good. So
Bruce probably still has it. I think it's on my A Woman of Many Names site. I want to say it was March of 17 or May of 17.
Oh,
It's been
probably.
a while.
Yes, it has. Wow. Wow. But anyways, welcome. And so we're going to be talking about Women of Many Names. I know about it. A lot of people that are watching, because you're on your phone, you won't be able to see people's comments as they come up.
Sorry.
It's okay. So if anyone has any questions for Deborah, make sure you post them. I will pay attention because they're right there on the side, and ask away. So, Woman of Many Names. How did you even come up with this book? Tell me about it.
Well, the book came about because I was just simply writing down the facts that I had been told by our grandfather. And I wanted to make sure that my nieces and grandnieces and nephews were able to hear those stories the way grandpa told them. Because, you never know how long you're going to be around. So I just decided to write them down, for posterity, for the family's sake. And after I did all that, my girlfriend who transcribed it for me, who is, a wonderful editor that used to work for Billie Jean King many years ago, said, you need to set this down. This needs to be shared with the world. This needs to be a book. So as soon as she, left, I, had a lot to think about because, that's a really big undertaking to commit to even trying to write a book. I didn't know where it would come from. And the magical thing about it is it just came. And I did have a lot of help, from, the creator, from friends. And, I'm fairly challenged with electronics, as you can well see. I can't run a computer to save my life. So I bought this fancy computer, couldn't use it. So I actually had a girlfriend help me transpose everything into that computer as I would, write everything. So that was a lot of fun. So the next thing I knew, it's like I'm writing a book. So I bought everything I could find that talked about Nancy Ward and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, I can put this together and have it make sense. So that's what I did. I just had fun with it, and I was at a point in my life where I didn't really have a life too much. I had just, going through a life shattering divorce, and I'm thinking, you know, it's given me a life. It's given me something to do, something to focus on, something to make me happy. So that's how it all really kind of came together. And then as I found out more and more about Nancy, and went out to Oklahoma and became part of the descendants of Nancy Ward community out there, which is, a pretty big deal actually in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Um, they just opened a casino there in Tahlequah that has the Nancy Ward room, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So as time went on, it just seemed like it was getting to be too difficult for me, and I just prayed and prayed and prayed. I said, God, please show me what to do here. So I just grabbed a notebook and I started, writing and writing and writing. And my girlfriend would come over and help me put it all together. And she'd go, no, I don't like that word. And I'm going, well, come up with another word, Deborah. Okay. So it was a lot of fun, actually. But, does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, it does. So this is your seventh great grandmother, Nancy Ward.
Yes.
But
Nanyehi.
right, because she was part of the Cherokee tribe, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you have to do a lot of research even though it was a family member? I mean,
Oh, yes. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I just knew the cool things. I knew about my grandpa being killed and how he died, which is something that was privately talked about in the family. they were not shared stories, so to speak. So, you know, when Grandpa would talk about her, he would be, very full of, pride. He was really prideful about it. And, you could see the joy in his eyes when he would talk about it. And he said, and my mother was, looked a lot like Nancy Ward, and you remind me so much of her. And so, when you get that connection with the family member. I was the only one that was really interested in, as far as he could tell. So I got all the stuff and the
Mm,
stories, as well as the necklace I wear was an arrowhead that was owned by Nancy, and actually went on the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma and found its way back east again. And there's a piece of jade in my ring here that belonged to Nancy also. And it was in a more delicate setting, of course. And this was actually a bracelet that he had made for me when I was young. And I I wanted it with me, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I just had it in my hand, and I was moving it around and moving it around. And what am I going to do with this bracelet? How can I incorporate this bracelet and Nancy Ward into my life? Before I knew it, I had formed it into a ring. So now I wear it as a ring. And whenever I speak for Nancy's behalf, in her name and her honor, I always wear these two pieces.
mm,
I just feel it binds me to her more. And of a lot of the writing I did, I would wear these things. And sometimes I know it was a gift from God, and I believe that the Creator allowed Nancy, basically to work through my spirit, and maybe even work through my hands and my mind, and write this book. um Elia Kazan, who was a famous producer, back in the 50s and 40s and 60s, that area, was made a movie in Tennessee, not too far from where Nancy lived. And actually, I believe part of what that the dam did actually took away my grandmother's town of Chota, most of it, anyways. There's still a small portion of it left that's kind of in the northeastern part of what that area would have been, where her town of Chota would have been. That was
mhm,
like her town, her and her brothers. And it was a town of sanctuary where people could go if they were in trouble and needed help. And once you got inside the borders of Chota, you were safe. Nobody could kill you there. So it was really, sanctuary, what we would consider sanctuary. And that is where she operated out of most of her life. Um, Her brothers kind of offshooted off of their father's town, when you get too many sons, and, so they kind of shot off and did their own thing. But um, they did some fabulous things. Both of those sons, uncles, they would have been my uncles, but Chief Matoy's sons went on a ship called the Fox to England and met King George II, and then sailed back. I think they were gone about a year, but oops, like I said, I'm kind of challenged, but it's a fascinating story. And then earlier this year, last year, right around 2 days before Thanksgiving, I found out I'm a Mayflower descendant. So it's like,
oh,
well, wait a minute. How is this all intersecting here? And it's actually coming through not Nancy Ward, but through my grandmother, my Native American grandmother, married a white man, and he was a Mayflower descendant. So it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. It's been fun doing all this research. Belle Starr, she was a Civil War dissident, maybe, and Outlaw Sam Starr. Those are descendants of mine. Will Rogers, the famous satirist, is related to Nancy Ward. Man, I believe his name is R.A. Tittle. He was an Olympic athlete. She's got some grandsons that became chief of the Cherokee tribe. So she's, you know, sired
yeah.
some interesting folks for sure. But yeah, my grandpa was real proud of everything, and shared those stories, and I'm glad that he did. And I was able to go to Oklahoma a couple times and visit with his other siblings that also were just, it was like they're linked to something, something
Right.
important. And I don't think they ran around town shouting about it, but within the family, we did tell our stories. And I believe my grandmother, great grandmother, was supposed to have written the book that I wrote, and she just ran out of time. And when he gave me this bracelet, he said they thought my mother was the one. She wasn't. Maybe you are. And I was never. And I should have asked questions. I just should have asked questions, and it just didn't dawn on me at the time. I was 12, 13 years old, and didn't think about the significance of what it might possibly have meant. But it's a pretty cool story.
I'm trying to remember the questions I asked you last time. I don't want to ask the same questions, but then again, we have new people watching, so it's all very interesting. I liked the book. I loved it. Um, so obviously there was enough information. But okay, let me ask you this: why write a book to share your family history with the whole world?
In this day and time, I think we're far enough removed, or should be far enough removed from the pain that, went along with being a Native American, being a Cherokee Indian, and all that goes with that, especially if you're looking at the 1700s, the 1800s, and most of the 1900s. I think we're pretty accepted now as a culture, as a people. And no amount of, how do you pay back somebody that died, you know 180 years ago for their suffering? There's no way to do that. They suffered so we can be where we're at today.
Hmm.
That's the way history works. And to abolish history, no, that cannot happen. We cannot abolish history. We are who we are.
Hmm.
And no amount of tearing down statues and pretending it all didn't happen is going to work. It's going to throw us back another 50 to 100 years. Most of my family feels very accepted. And when I was coming up, my mom said they didn't tell anybody because it was just too hard. They were discriminated against. But it was the 40s and the 50s and the 30s. Yes, that all happened. But for heaven's sakes, it happened for a reason.
Hmm.
And you know if some rational people hadn't gone, slavery's wrong, the Civil War might have happened 50 to 100 years later than it did. It's all an evolutionary process. And, it's like, you want to talk to somebody about suffering, go talk to some Jewish families that have known nothing but persecution and unacceptance for as long as we've been keeping records, for heaven's sakes. And today they still go through things. So, as Native Americans, I think we're pretty lucky because a lot of people are looking at our old ways and going, yeah, they weren't so bad. And I fully believe that, as a country, and as a whole, we just need to love each other, and try to accept people for who they are. And we've blended these races so beautifully. Look at all, I've got children that I know that are of mixed race, and have children that are also mixed race. We're almost all mixed races now. Let's get a
Hmm.
grip and understand that we have a process as a people that we have to go through. And this is part of those growing pains, I guess. But it's hard because you can't force people to like people. That's very hard to do. But I think the younger folks are more accepting of other people and their cultures and their different ways of doing things than maybe some older folks. You take in their 70s and 80s now, it's, you can't change those people. Get a grip, get real. We can't change them. But
Mm,
their time here is limited. Let them live in peace and not be scared, for heaven's sakes. Our old people are scared right now. And, because we're watching these young folks that are, been pent up for too long. I don't know what the deal is, but um, they're scaring old folks, and that needs to stop. And my heart breaks for, the things that are happening all over the world right now. But we just got to get a grip and understand that we're scaring people, and that needs to stop.
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. The world has gone crazy. So, yeah.
But no,
Um,
message rings true. I there is so much that you could equate back to these days and these times. Imagine having a measles or a smallpox outbreak in a village, and a whole race of people's gone. So we are farther ahead than what that is. It's of the same mentality, and so it makes it relevant, I'd say.
yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. So, yeah. So, what exactly are people going to find in your book about her? Is it just about her? Are there accomplishments or things that people really do need to know about her? That is one of the reasons why you wrote the book.
Yes. Her her becoming a ruler in the 18th century is crazy. There weren't that many women that were notable in that time. Um, you know, maybe somebody made a flag, but we had Pocahontas, of course, and a lot of those things, and Sacagawea, and those were other great Native American women that helped propel the white people's search for this land also. And Nancy's job was a little different because she was a chieftainess, she was ruler, she held the life hands, her hands, one went one way, one went the other, one meant life, one meant death. So she held the power of life and death in her hands, and she understood what an awesome responsibility that was, and the job that the creator had put her here to do, she was trained for. And that's what I want folks to understand. When Native Americans, when they're watching these children grow, the elders would like assess what they were good at, where they might shine, and how they might benefit the tribe better. So some were, they could see early, oh, they're a very gifted hunter, so they were taught young how to hunt. And maybe you were good at, identifying flowers and finding ginseng and different flowers and herbs and things that you could make medicine with. And maybe your gift was making that medicine. So as young children, they would cipher out, you know, what they were more attuned to and how they could best help within the tribe. And Nancy, they knew that she was coming. It had been foretold in our legends that a child would rise, a girl child would rise out of the wolf clan that would lead her people to greatness. And so that's kind of a legend that, precipitated Nanyehi's birth. And then when she was born and her grandmother was coming up out of the creek, right there was a white wolf. And so that was kind of like the sign, that this is the child. And she was the granddaughter of Matoy, the emperor of America. So for it to, you know, it was no accident. And so she was trained from a very young age how to become that great leader, because that doesn't happen by osmosis, especially for a woman. And she needed to know different languages. And one of her uncles, Okonestoa, actually married a lady in waiting from King George II's wife, who came to America and taught all the children in the tribe. They taught them English and how to read and how to write. So she was schooled in many languages as well as French. So she had, the English, and in Native Americans, they know many languages. They had what they called a high language, a low language, and then you had a trader language that all the traders had to learn so that they could work with each other from one end of this country to the next. We had trading routes that traversed north, south, east, and west. It was a very sophisticated path system, and the folks knew when to show up and where to show up. And so that was an amazing thing that most people don't understand, was going on. So it was very intricate story, and she did a lot of great things that I didn't even touch on in that book. Um, I wanted a written homage to Kingfisher as well as Nancy Ward, and that's her first husband, who she had two of her children with. That's the lineage I come from. I am not a Ward by genetics. I am a Kingfisher, and that was her Native American husband. And she married Bryant, not very long, probably within probably months after his death. It was sort of a negotiation of sorts. But people back then did a lot of things for different reasons. She was known by many titles. That's where the name Woman of Many Names comes from, because she had so many names. She Tistugisti, names I can't even say. My Cherokee's not so good. And then they went by titles as well. Beloved Woman. She would have gone by Beloved Woman of Chota, War Woman of Chota, the Pocahontas of Tennessee. There's just so many that, pop out here and there. When I started researching her, I had no idea that there was going to be that much out there. I went to Thomas Jefferson's library, and they pulled a lot of documentation out of there, and that was just with one name. So imagine if I go back there and they're able to call all those different names. The information that might come out of there might just flat be really neat. But I plan to go one of these days. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, with everything going on, travel's a little risky right about now. So, do you plan on writing more? You're where?
I'm in Florida.
Florida. Oh, okay. I hope to be there in 4 months. I hope my vacation's coming up, so that's what I'm waiting for. So, but anyways, huh?
Where are you out of? Where are you?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah, that's where I am. I thought you would have remembered that. Maybe I didn't tell you that.
I don't think I knew.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever told you. A lot of guests, they usually don't ask, but yeah, nope, that's where I am. So with all this additional information that you found out, with all these different people now in history, are you planning on writing something again? Maybe
Yeah,
another book?
I need to get about it. I've still got several started and no more finished. It seems like life's been one thing after the next, and you got to be in the right frame of mood to write. So I'm hoping it's going to catch up with me real soon. I wrote Woman of Many Names. It probably took 3 years to do that, so maybe 4. But I'm slow, but I'll get there. My niece may have to publish it when I'm dead.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that. I'm pretty sure you'll get to it at some point. I mean, right about now, we have plenty of time to do everything, to do pretty much anything right now because we're, either quarantining or we're not going anywhere. So I've noticed a lot of authors are taking this time to either start something that they put on the back burner or they're finishing something up or, God knows what. So I do have to ask, because I've never asked
Yeah.
this before, how did you come up with the cover? The picture of the book. I see it somewhat behind you, but I like the cover.
Let's see if I can get it to work here.
Yeah,
There she is.
there she is. Yes.
Just gorgeous. What happened was I commissioned 3 artists all together. The first one I wasn't happy. The second one I wasn't happy, and the third artist I met by chance, and I told her I was writing a book, and was searching for someone to do a cover for me, and so I took her a lot of information. I brought her my pieces, and she sat and held those for quite some time. And I gave her a rough draft of the book, and she read that. And I said, "You just go home and dream on that, girl." And 3 days later, I started getting pictures of starting of this beautiful, beautiful portrait. And what she actually did was she had asked for some pictures of me when I was young. And I gave her the picture that is at the gravesite in Benton, Tennessee. And it's was something that was put there by the state, which was a pencil sketch that was done by her second great grandson, who was at the home when she passed away. So he was close to her. And
Mhm.
so I took those, she kind of took those together and blended them together. And that's where that came from. And I actually commissioned 5 pieces from her. So there's um, 4 more that just had, a lot of symbolism for me, and I felt went well with the book. And the back cover is a separate one that she did, and she did the same thing. She just started sending me pictures of her sketches and what she was
Mhm.
doing. And when she sent me the second one, I had to send it back. I said, "You painted my brother." She goes, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, Kingfisher looks just like my brother." She goes, "No, send me a picture of your brother." So I sent her a picture of him, and she goes, "This is just crazy." She said, "You told me to go home and dream, and that's what I did." And she says, "Nancy Ward visited me in my dream." And so she explained her dream to me. I explained her dream to her. and, uh, and lo and behold, I got 5 just beautiful portraits that she did for me that just, link right up with this book and the core essence of I believe who she was. So doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't. It's
Wow.
just it's not coincidence. Nothing is by coincidence. And I just love what Dawn Fisher did for me. And hopefully, one of these days she'll get to do. She's actually got another one kind of done for book 2. So I'm excited. We'll see where it leads. See if it's all,
I'm
you
hopeful
know, God's got a plan.
that he does. I'm hopeful for book 2. I hope you can do it. I know you can do it. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see where that goes. So for people who don't know and maybe have not read it, where can they find your book?
They can pretty well find it anywhere. It's in some bookstores in Kentucky and Tennessee and Kentucky, Ohio, and quite a few down in Florida, Barnes and Nobles mostly. Books a Million, Barnes and Noble, Amazon. You can type in Woman of Many Names and it should link you straight to the publisher if you want to go that route. Just find it, Woman of Many Names. That's the saga of Nancy Ward. It's I think it's gonna work out okay. Like God's got a plan, and it's 4 years later, and I'm still talking to people about it. So I I have high hopes that something big is going to happen, and the format for Nancy Ward will just be expeditious and maybe worldwide. You just never know. She's worth knowing about. She was worth knowing about.
Absolutely.
A woman way before her time. Was struggle for women's rights before it was even a thing.
Pretty much.
And she told me the other day she was the first female real estate agent too. I had to laugh because she sold Kentucky to Daniel Boone.
Oh boy. If anyone has any questions for Debra before we wrap up, let me know. Get them out there. I see all you people watching, and I think everyone's just quiet and paying attention to the show. So now's the time for questions. So if anyone has any questions, post them. Let me hear them. So, are you getting used to doing this whole face-to-face interviews?
This is I've probably done four like this. Never on this StreamYard. Haven't used it. Doing a lot of Zoom lately.
Yeah.
I've probably done 3 in the last month or so like this. It seems to be a popular format, and it's better than. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I wish I was younger and prettier, but oh well.
Yeah.
You don't live to be this old, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've noticed that you did a couple of interviews because I just watched earlier today. You were talking to another woman, another author, I believe. She had blonde hair, I think. So that was a very good interview. So I was like, oh, now
it was fun.
Yeah, it seemed like it was fun. Yeah, you were wearing red. I remember that. So
I was, yeah.
Yes.
I
like,
it was a night, so I did black tonight. Makes me look skinnier.
Yeah. That's probably why I wear black myself. So
yeah, we're having to find new ways to do all sorts of things. Yeah, I've been alone here at the beach for pretty much, since this all started. So it's difficult. I go to Naples and see my mother. I've gone down there. I probably spent maybe about 45 days down there through all this with her. So at least we can be together. But yeah, it's been a very trying time. We're social beings, and we're not meant to be holed up and living alone and not being around folks. And so this is kind of fun. At least I got dressed today. I washed my hair. Don't have to do that every day right now. So, but there's a reason for all of it. We just haven't figured it out yet, I guess.
Well, somebody better get on the ball here. So I'll tell you that and figure it out. So I'm just seeing.
We had cancer a really long time, and MS, and so many different illnesses and diseases that I don't know. Should we take a vaccine, the first one off the market? No, I don't think so. I'm a little nervous about it myself. Maybe I'll just wait and see how it goes for everybody. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. vaccines and different things like that. I know there's some that, were mandatory and we need to take. But I just don't know how we're going to trust anything that's, been developed so abruptly and so quickly. My thought is on it, if it was in a lab, in one lab anywhere in the world, uh, why weren't they looking for a cure instead of playing with this virus? Maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. Who would
Mm,
really know? We're ever going to 100% be comfortable with any answer anybody gives us. So, but yeah, no, I don't think there should be any of these bad things in labs and anywhere in the world. I don't care if it's here or abroad. They need to be looking for cures to what they got there. Other than that, why do they have it? Why are they playing with it? It's
yeah.
like playing with mercury, you know? We didn't know it was bad. Well, we know mercury's bad to play with now, don't we? And I mean, all my friends used to play with that stuff. I mean, I can remember throwing it across the room in school. It's like, yeah, okay. And now they know it like kills people. All right, I
Yeah.
don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and out all figures out. I reckon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sad.
We're-
I think everybody's just got to do the best they can.
oh yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone needs to start doing their own part. So
Oh yeah.
that's for sure. I'm just seeing if there's
I,
anyone who is. Does anyone have any questions for Deborah? I know there's a time difference of a couple of minutes from when I speak to when people actually read it or listen to it. So post your questions before we go. Because I have a
we
feeling that I'm going
terminate
to be.
this.
Yes. Well, I don't like that word, but yeah, pretty much. Um, I'm pretty
Sorry.
sure that I'm gonna end up having you on again. I just know I am. I better have you on again. There better be another book at some point
Okay.
for you to come back on.
Yes, there or some really good news. When that if anything happens, we'll let you know.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Bruce will keep me in the loop. So
He's a pretty good guy. Everybody should have a Bruce working for him. Straight up. One of the best moves I think I made was hiring a publicist and having him work with me over the years. And, he's opened a lot of doors that, wouldn't have been open for me had I not had somebody, out there stumping and fighting for Nanyehi and myself. And, um, it's, like I said, I believe it's a story worth reading. And I am prejudiced, but it's okay in a good way. But
mhm.
like I said, we need to be proud of who we are, where we come from, and understand and know our own personal history as good as we can. And just so happens, some of mine's documented in history,
Mm,
and I think that a lot of people probably have that as well and just don't understand or know enough about where they came from because people disappeared for a lot of reasons over the centuries and went other places and started all over again and it's beautiful. I love the ancestry DNA stuff. I just think that's the coolest thing ever. That you can spit in a tube, and about a month later, you got about 1,000 cousins or so. That's just an amazing venture to, see the parts of the country where your family, splintered off and went and grew, and you know, I don't know. I just didn't know my cousins because we didn't grow up in Oklahoma. We grew up in Ohio, and there was the cultural influence with a big separation of 1,200, 1,300 miles. So we didn't get to know as much as we should have about where we came from and how our relatives lived and where they lived. when I head to Tennessee, and it always has been this way, I hit the border and I always felt like I was home, even before I totally understood, where my grandmother lived, because most folks think that the Eastern Cherokee lived in, the Carolinas. They did, but we lived all over Kentucky, Tennessee, uh, Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina. That was our stomping ground. So, um, you know, to feel that way about an area, you have to wonder where your sense of something comes from, because I had no way of knowing the intricacies of everything that once, all the books and everything, that you can read and the research you can do, we didn't understand all that stuff when I was growing up. So, to feel so connected to something is, and I just didn't understand why I was so connected, but now I full well understand my connection to that area. And my brother, he's going, "Oh, I just love Nashville." I said, "You'd be going home." I said, "Because that's where your DNA comes from, and you would have ran that area. Okay, you'd have been the big chief." So it's when you think back, from a different perspective, from the future's perspective, back into the past, you know, it's just one thing goes wrong, one simple thing goes wrong, and your whole family's gone. They don't exist anymore. It was like
Right.
when Nancy Ward was saving the villages down the road, when she sent messages to Fort Loudon and you know Charlestown and all the places that she saved other folks from. Those were families that could have possibly met their end that day. The complete family wiped out, and there wouldn't have been all these future people. So, you know, um, I know Nancy saved tons and tons of people's lives, and from those few hundred people she saved, it's thousands upon thousands of people now. So, it's but just one thing goes wrong, and that's not so no more. So, it's a big picture. It's a big picture.
Hmm. It is. Yep, absolutely. I did the ancestry DNA. I am currently waiting for my DNA results. They keep texting me. I'm getting closer and closer. Um,
Not
yeah, I had a guest on that is a genealogist who recommended that I do something like that. So that's what I did. So
yes.
we're waiting.
Yeah, we're all mutts.
Yeah,
Truly,
pretty
if
much.
if you're 100% something, it's like a miracle. Okay, a miracle. Because there's not too many, like purebred anything anymore. There's some.
Mm,
There's some, and thank God for them. And I'm very happy for them. But they need to be happy for me too. So I
absolutely.
love.
Absolutely.
We're all mud. Yeah.
Well, until I speak to you again,
Thank you.
which I know will be at some point. So I will wait to hear from Bruce or you. Um,
Thank
and
you,
we will,
darling.
and yeah, I will definitely have to have you back on. So I want to thank you for coming on and talking about the book. And of course, we've all, well, I have posted where to get it on Amazon on the Facebook page.
Thank you.
So at least people know where to go. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Facebook woman, she has her own page.
absolutely. I will make sure to post that as well. I forgot about that. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Deborah, it's been a pleasure talking to you again.
So much. I'm glad you had me back, and I look forward to seeing you again one day soon.
Yes, absolutely.
God bless.
You too. Thank you.
Thank
All All right. So technically she's still there, so she can hear this. But I know that I've gone 10 minutes over, but that's okay because it's Debra, and I wanted to connect with her once again. So, Woman of Many Names, you can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles and anywhere books technically are sold, like she said. The link for her book is on my Facebook page right as we speak. So if you want to read her book, please do. Don't forget, if you buy it from Amazon, don't forget to do a review for the book, because that really does help the authors, whether it's good or bad. They'll still take the information. It's crucial that you leave that review. Can't stress that enough. So it was a fun interview. I love talking to her. It's the second time, so hopefully a third will be up there. Bruce, I know you're watching from somewheres. Keep tabs on her. I want to talk to her again. That is it. If you have questions for Debra, and of course the show technically is over, I can always forward the questions to her if you have any questions about her books or Nancy Ward or any sort of thing at all ever. I'm pretty sure she'll answer them. So just send them to me. And don't forget, I still receive the notifications if you do ask a question after the video has aired. So that is pretty much it. I will see everyone next Thursday, which starts 2 shows per week. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. And don't forget, we have plenty of time to read. So that's why I have authors on the show, to give you guys some ideas of something to read. So there's no excuses. Go out, read a book. Actually, you don't even have to go anywhere. You can do it from home now. I hope everyone has a fantastic night and weekend, like I said, now that people are starting to wake up here from watching this show. So that's pretty much it. Any questions before I go? Anything at all? I'll give you a second. I need some coffee here, even though I shouldn't be drinking coffee. It's late at night, but and I just have to say, since doing this show, since the last show, I've had the best guests, period. I don't know about anyone else, but I have. So I'm so glad that you guys have come up with the ideas of having certain types of authors or genres and so on the show. So you guys are very vocal, and I love it, my peeps. So, all right. Well, if that is it, I am going to go. Don't forget to catch Daniel Payton tomorrow. Unfortunately, I was not able to talk to him about his changes to the Winter Wizard book, but I'll get to it at some point. Trust me, I will. So, again, Debra down there in the little box there, I can see you. Have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you at some point again. And that is it. So goodbye. Have a good weekend.